Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. KermMartian here, back with Train Simulator 2017. This is episode 20 of my Train Simulator 2017 series, which is a milestone, I want to say. I want to say this is quite the milestone. Not only is this my 20th Train Simulator 2017 video, by some, measurement. I had two episode 19s, 19 part 1 and part 2. But I also recently crested 1,500 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you guys for subscribing. It's a pleasure to see that there are so many people interested in the kinds of stuff that I like to make videos about, and I look forward to many more in the future. It seems to be popular to do things like AMA sorts of videos once you reach major milestones. I suspect I wouldn't get quite enough questions for something like that with 1,500 subscribers, especially since a lot of those are graphing calculator people. Aha! So, it looks like there's a reason I have not driven this before, and this is complete nonsense. Could not load rail vehicle. NJT ALP, does it say 16 or 46? Or does that say 45? Because I definitely have all of those things. Well, that's complete nonsense. Alright. Apparently we will not be doing that scenario today. Well, that's utter nonsense. That's going to get a thumbs down. Alright. Let's try that again, ladies and gents. Let us try that again indeed. I suppose this is one argument for testing scenarios before trying to run them. Alright, let's find our way back to New York to New Haven. There we go. So we cannot do this Northeast Regional 190 scenario that I picked up in the workshop. We could do some Acela Fun. I'm pretty sure those are workshop scenarios, excuse me. Could do some P32AC action. That sounds like fun. Hauling from Grand Central and finishing at Sono. Alright, let's give that a try. Let's see how this works out for us. I do enjoy some P32AC action. As you know, I've driven the P42DC quite a few times on my channel. So thank you all for joining me once again on this Friday evening. I tried announcing this one on Twitter before I got the stream started, so let me know if you found me through that. I'm still unclear if enough of you guys actually subscribe to me, follow me on Twitter for this to be a reasonable way to alert you. But there we go. All right, we are in Grand Central in all of its low poly, low detail glory. We will be pulling a Metro North train, obviously, behind a P32AC DM. That's a dual mode locomotive, capable of running on either third rail DC power or from its own internal generators. Good afternoon, engineer. Today you are tasked with taking this passenger service from here at Grand Central, finishing at South Norwalk. Allow the passengers to board here before leaving. So let us get our doors open. Doors are open. I'm going to head out to take a look at our headlights. Headlights are looking good. We will get ourselves into forward. We are already in forward. We have a little bit of brakes on, so we're just about set to go. We just have to wait for our passengers to board. I remember that there's a little bit of difficulty keeping to the speed limit exiting Grand Central Station here in New York City. But then after that, we will have a pretty straight run up to South Norwalk. Again, along the New Haven route. So part of the scenario, of course, runs along Metro North's right-of-way before we head over toward New Rochelle and merge with the Northeast corridor that Amtrak uses between New Rochelle and New Haven, Connecticut. So, if you are more familiar with British passenger rail than American passenger rail, it should be eye-opening. Some of you, however, may be reasonably familiar with our American passenger rail. So let's get our brakes off, wait for our brake pressure to release, and get going. I'm also going to drop the HUD a little bit so we can see somewhat more of our screen. There we go. We're taking off at a sedate 1.2 miles an hour. We have a speed limit of 15 miles an hour here in Grand Central Terminal, so let's not get too carried away. Inexplicably, our diesel prime mover is rumbling along behind us, but we should indeed be using third rail power, especially here in Grand Central Station, where diesels are not allowed to actually, be under diesel power because of fumes and pollution and all that good stuff people need to actually breathe. We have another P32AC DM pulled train heading off to our left there. It looks like they have the cab car forward though. There we go indeed. And we are just cresting 15 miles an hour, so let's keep an eye on that. Let's see if I can stick my head out the window. Yes, I can. Very nice. Hopefully I'll still hear our, well, we shouldn't have any AWS since we're riding on American lines, but we shall see what happens. We are just a little under 15 miles an hour. So our first stop is going to be Harlem 125th Street, track 2. In 3.81 miles, we have to head through the Park Avenue tunnels underneath Manhattan's Park Avenue first. We'll be coming out at 97th Street. We'll be emerging into the daylight once again. It's 1:36 p.m. I don't remember the season that was specified for this particular scenario, but I imagine that there will be daylight at 1:37 p.m. Staying at 50 miles an hour. Hello there, Tim Keller. Good to have you with us on the stream today. Are you playing with trains of the model variety this evening, Tim Keller, as I know you might be? I'm going to head back into the cab so we can keep an eye on things. I like the interface that the P42 and P32 each have. It's quite nice. Quite nice indeed. And it's surprisingly functional here in Train Simulator. RPMs, not so much. But, oops, we're speeding, about to. Let's see if we can get a good score today as well. It's always a good goal. We still have a bit more to crawl along at this 15 miles an hour as we head into the Park Avenue tunnels before we get to our 60 mile an hour zone. Iambian is working on model trains. Excellent, excellent. So as I mentioned on a few of my past streams, Tim and Iambian are working on a project for Maker Faire. They will be creating a way that we can directly control model trains with graphing calculators, with like TI-84 plus graphing calculators, which should be a lot of fun. Hello there, Last Millennial. Welcome back to the stream. Sorry that your Wi-Fi is sucking, but I hope that you can still follow along reasonably enough. Please let me know how the audio is, guys. JMO444 was saying that you guys couldn't hear me that well, but please do let me know. It seemed like his background music might have been the problem there. We're just nosing towards the 60 mile an hour zone as we leave the Grand Central marshalling tracks. Our loco's in, but we still have to get the rest of the train. Let's see if we can head to the passenger view. So you'll notice this passenger view looks a great deal like our New Jersey Transit passenger view. That is not an accident. That is not an accident at all. But for now, let's stay on our locomotive. Almost have the whole train into that 60 mile an hour zone, after which I will step on the gas. Just barely, last car. And we're speeding. Damn, I thought I timed that better. Alright, -8 there. Off we go. Set the throttle to 77%. Let's go straight to 100%. And take off. We apparently have quite a bit of weight behind our loco here. Now note, of course, that the P32 has only 3,200 horsepower, compared to the P42's, obviously, 4,200 horsepower. Yes, I think adding Iambian to the repository would make a great deal of sense if he's developing code for the particular project. I think that would make sense indeed. Is it possible? How is it possible? Well, I guess by having internet that loads frames slower than 30 FPS times 144 lines. I'm a little bit sore about that 8 points that we lost. We were just about in that 60 mile an hour zone. We're at 43 miles an hour. I'm not sure exactly where we are, but it looks like the end of this tunnel is coming up, and shortly we'll be out into the sunlight. Our AWS is going off for some reason. I'm gonna, or not AWS, but our learner. I'm going to see if we have a signal coming up. I can't think what that would be. That could be a warning for the 45 right at the mile and 1/3 mark. Hello there, John Bush. Good to have you with us tonight. We are heading up to South Norwalk from New York's Grand Central Station, and a P32AC DM pulling a Metro North train. Just keeping an eye on my speed because our alerter went off there for a second. I imagine it's about that 45 because I don't see any danger signals. Actually, I do see a danger signal. It looks like we have a red ahead. I'm going to cut the throttle and maybe put on a little braking. Also, I need to remember that we are using a train with smarter braking. No need to lap and hold. We can just put our brakes on. Graduated, self-lap limited. Now, do we indeed have a countermanding signal? We do. All right, we are. So here we are at 97th Street, 98th Street, and so on. And it looks like, oh, there we go. Our signal went green. And we'll release the brakes, and off we go. So how are you all doing this evening? How has your week been? I think it might be actually exactly a week since I last streamed. I was thinking about streaming earlier this week, but I got busy with work and I did not. Also, just in case, I have the Dovetail Games manual for the, yep. All right, for the P32 up on my laptop, just in case we need to refer to it as we go. So we are safely under that 45. I'm not sure what we're getting dinged about. Our ETA is 50 seconds late. Oh, we are diverging. That is what is happening. We are diverging over to the northbound tracks. That sky is beautiful. I love the clouds. I love the clouds we have today. But let's see if we can improve that ETA so we can actually make it to 125th Street on time. That's not looking good right now, I have to say, because we're supposed to be stopping there in just 40 seconds. I'm going to zoom back out so we get the sensation of actually moving at a decent speed. Oh, here's our train, by the way. I think this is screenshot time. You can see that we do indeed appear to be under diesel power based on that exhaust, which is not, oops, let's stop. Not as it should be, considering that we are still on third rail power. We're down for the 40. I'm going to release the brakes so we can, there we have a cab car, by the way, off to our left. Cab car at the front of another Metro North train with the P32AC DM at the back there. We are well down for the 40 mile an hour zone, a little too much actually, because we're supposed to be at 125th Street right now. We'll just keep coasting along at 28 miles an hour, and soon I'll start putting on the brakes for us to actually stop here at 125th Street. A little bit of braking. A little bit more braking, a little bit more braking. I don't think we have to overhang the locomotive, but we shall see. Also, this locomotive, although it struggles to pull this train up to a reasonable level of acceleration, can certainly stop. Certainly can indeed. We have 4 more cars to go. 3 more cars. 2 cars. 1 car. A little bit of braking, a little bit more braking, a little bit more braking, a little bit more braking. No braking. And that is beautiful. That is a picture-perfect stop, if I may say so myself. Doors are open. Let's let our passengers off here at 125th Street and take another screenshot too with our beautiful locomotive. Excellent, excellent. I'm going to free the camera so we can look around for a moment while our passengers get on and off. Here are our Metro North cars for today. We have a consist of 8 behind our locomotive. I don't think we can quite go down these stairs here at 125th Street. Let's pull back and look at New York City for a second. Very nice, very nice. Looks New Yorky. Geopipe is starting to look somewhat like this, I'm happy to say. Let me release the brakes before I try to put the throttle on. Brakes are off. Our passengers have boarded, and off we go. Our next stop is going to be New Rochelle, track 2 in 12.43 miles. So we'll be skipping over a number of stops on the way. We will indeed. Let me pull up the Metro North New Haven branch stops so we can keep track of them as we go past. We're still in Manhattan, but that bridge up ahead will be our bridge into the Bronx, which will eventually turn into upstate. Well, I say upstate, but that's my... I don't think it would be prototypical to blow the horn at this point, but since Career doesn't penalize us for blowing the horn, I will do so. Don't worry, I'll blow the horn again once our train's getting closer. get that nice Doppler effect in action. Sorry, people of New York. Now we have a 35-mile-an-hour zone for the bridge, which we need to be aware of. Let's lay off that throttle. A little bit of throttle. Just a little bit. Here we go through the bridge. And our bell is still on. That's beautiful. Very nice, very nice. We have a 40 coming up. That should be fine. I really hope that signal is not danger. Really hope so. It is not. We have the high ball. Very good. Now, coming up is where the the Hudson line, the blue line, as it were, of the Metro North, diverges from the New Haven line and the Harlem line, for that matter. So, all three of Metro North's main lines go through here. One of them diverges off to the left there and goes up the Hudson River, up the right side, the west side of the Hudson River. Amtrak's trains that stay on that particular, they're on the west side of the Hudson, then they end up on the east side of the Hudson as they go up towards Montreal. Then this way is where the remainder of Metro North trains go, and half of them, the New Haven line, splits off in a few stops, about I want to say maybe 7-8 miles north of where we are, and then the rest go up to White Plains and beyond. Stick our heads out, maybe drive our train from here for now, while keeping an eye on the signals. Maybe I can stick my head out this way. There we go. Well, since we are driving American trains, I'll stay on the right side. And we can get right up to that 60-mile-an-hour zone because we'll be entering a 75 soon after Melrose Main 2 East. We're going under a series of buildings that are on top of the tracks in the Bronx, which is where we are now. We are in the Bronx, one of New York's 5 boroughs, for those unfamiliar, along with Manhattan, Staten Island, Brooklyn, and Queens. We're on the express tracks here, the fast lines, if we were in Britain, because we would not be stopping at any of these Bronx stations. There we have there's our local service off to our left, heading south to Grand Central. Give them a friendly blow of the horn. See if I can turn my bell off again. We're entering a 75, so no need to go too slowly. We're in an open cut rail right of way here, so where they've dug a hole, put the tracks in, and called it a day. Many of New York City's subways were built with the cut and cover method, where they do this, but then they put the ground back over on top. We just got an alert, and our brakes are on. Let's take those brakes off again. Not sure what the alert was for. Do we have a signal we should be aware of up ahead? One wonders. One wonders indeed. I have to remember what this tells us. I'm afraid I do not remember. In-cab signaling. Page 8. What do we know about in-cab signaling? Number 17, the aspect display unit. In-cab signaling. Locomotives on the New York to New Haven route feature in-cab signaling systems. The image below shows the in-cab display. Visually, the display may vary for other locomotives, but the principle remains the same. Alrighty. So it might have been that we just hadn't touched the controls for 60 seconds, and that's what threw the alerter off. So let's get back up again. We're currently estimated to be 4 seconds late at New Rochelle. N is normal. The speed indicator will be blank, and you should adhere to the current speed limit on the line, which in this case is 75 miles an hour. If it is anything lower than N, then a speed signal aspect will be displayed, and you should run at either the signal speed as indicated or the current track speed limit, whichever is lower. That makes sense. So there we go. This is N now, so that means we should just go at the track speed limit, which is 75. Coming up on a 65 in a mile. And we're just about at 65 because we're not accelerating. Sorry, 55. Because we're not accelerating very quickly. I'm gonna head out here so we can take in the sights of the Bronx as we fly through. Actually, I'm gonna take us slightly above this cut so we can look around at the shops and stores and good stuff out here. Some little houses, some housing projects, some apartment buildings. Very nice, very nice. Oop, our alert went off there for a second. Luckily I saw it before our brakes kicked in. We have that 65 coming up, but we're still safely under our 65, so that's all good. Once we get going after, well, maybe somewhere in the meantime, I should tell you guys all of my latest train news. I have some train trips coming up in my relatively near future that I'm very excited about. As I've mentioned in some of my past streams recently, I recently stopped having a reason to do, we're about to speed, frequent train tripping on Amtrak's Vermonter line. I hope to fix that at some point in the future. But for the moment, that is the case. That is the case indeed. But I have some new Amtrakking coming up in September, so that's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun indeed. Some long distance trains, some trains that let me get a sleeper roomette, which I have not done before on Amtrak, which is going to be a great deal of fun. We're drifting down towards 60 miles an hour, and I think we're going to, and we're down for the 60 all by ourselves, so good for us. Anyway, going back to the New Haven line, apparently I never actually pulled up the list of stations for us, so we're coming from the south. Where'd our route map go? There it is. Got another train off to our left. Hello, hello. So we're starting from Grand Central Terminal. Did you know that there used to be 59th, 72nd, and 86th Street stations within the Park Avenue Tunnel? Because I didn't. We headed past Melrose, Tremont, Fordham. I think we already went past the Botanical Gardens. Alerter wants us to know that there's controls we have to touch. I think we're coming up on Williams Bridge. Let's take a look at this station when we go past. This is, in fact, Williams Bridge, as you can see from that sign off to our right. Nice. Look at this. Beautiful. Very nice. Very nice indeed. We're heading back into a 70, so we really should get back up for that 70, especially since we're way below our speed limit. We're still estimated to be 4 seconds late for New Rochelle, which is interesting. That is interesting indeed. It makes me worry that we're going to get some red signals up ahead somewhere. We're getting out of the more urban Bronx into the slightly more rural areas. I say rural, suburban. Suburban would be a better way to put that. We have trees off to our sides instead of buildings. So our next station that we're going to pass will be Woodlawn, and then we will diverge from the Harlem line. Now at some point I'm going to have to remember to change, well, I'm supposed to change from third rail to catenary along the way from from Mount Vernon east to New Rochelle. But the fact of the matter is that I think our diesel is already operating on diesel power. What? Oh, 45. Ooh, we're not going to make it for that 45. 49, 48, 47, 46, 45. Oh, we made it. I'm very surprised. I'm very surprised that we made it down for that 45. Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for the slight deceleration there. Our engineer did not see the 45 mile an hour zone in time, and luckily technology had his back. Let's get our speed back up a bit towards that 45. We're going to be going up an incline here. Now we're diverging from the Harlem line, which is going off to our left over there, up towards White Plains, while we head off towards the northeast corridor. And we're just way under that 60, so let's get our speed back up again. Let us do that indeed. You guys are very quiet tonight. Either you guys have left for the evening, which would be very sad indeed, or you guys just don't have much to say tonight. One of those is definitely the case. So we're going to be coming up on Excuse me, I double worded there. We're going to be coming up on Mount Vernon East shortly. And we are on the local tracks, but we are not supposed to stop at Mount Vernon East. We're supposed to continue straight through to New Rochelle Track 2. So theoretically, there should not be catenaries above us. Remember, we're third rail on Metro North, but catenary or diesel on the northeast corridor. So I'm not sure why we have those catenary poles to our left and right. But there we go. There we go indeed. As you can see, we're not accelerating that fast with this 8-coach train behind us. And I'm going to keep tapping my alert or acknowledge button, which is Q every once in a while, to avoid that alerter kicking in for just making sure we're still awake. That is due to a safety system that ensures our engineer has not fallen asleep at the controls. If the engineer doesn't touch a control for 60 seconds, the alerter goes off and it doesn't get canceled, acknowledged, then the train will put itself into braking and stop so that the train doesn't run into anything. So some pretty good safety features here. You can see just creeping onto our HUD at the right there are the speed limits. We're speeding. Oh, look at that. We are losing a few points there, but now we're back under the 60. We lost 26 points. That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate indeed. Oops, didn't mean to do that. That's what I meant to do. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Alright, back into our cab. And we will have that 45 coming up that we need to be aware of. The graphics in this game are really getting beautiful. I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed indeed. There's a lot to be said just for having all the little details, like enough trees, backyards. Even though a lot of the houses repeat and stuff, it's easy to forgive when the trees look nice, the textures on the sides of the houses look nice, the roads look nice, the sky is beautiful. Really easy to just not worry about that kind of uncanny valley of, wait a second, all of those houses are exactly the same house, you know. We're gonna coast not enough, so let's put some braking on. Graduated self-lap limited as we get down for the 45. In fact, that should do it. That should do it indeed. Here is Pelham. This is Pelham Station. You can see we now have catenary above us, so we would have had to change to electrification, change to using the catenary if we were in an electric train, but because we're driving on diesel, we can just continue on. We are diverging off towards the express tracks now, and you can see New Rochelle's ahead on our HUD, so we will shortly be stopping at New Rochelle in just about 1.25 miles. That'll be our second stop. Looking forward to it. We are estimated to get there 23 seconds late right now. Let's get our speed up more, because we have a 50 followed by a 30. I think we're still going to be a little bit late, no matter how much I accelerate here. Yes, I do need to finish Geopipe and sell to them. I mean, you say finish, there's not really a finish per se. It's just going to get better and better. The idea is that we'll start selling to some customers sooner. That's one of our goals for the summer. Let's get down for the 30 there. 38, 37, 36, 35, 34, 33, 32, 31, and 30. We're good. Now we're going to merge into the northeast corridor very shortly indeed, and we're speeding. Well, that's nonsense. Now we're not. Lost a couple of points there. That's unfortunate. Unfortunate indeed. There we go, though. There we go. We're fully into that 30-mile-an-hour zone now, but luckily we have a 45 coming up. I'm going to make us watch while we merge in here. There we go. That's what we're talking about. I apologize to the residents of New Rochelle, like our erstwhile friend Mr. Patrick Davidson, who no doubt was deafened by our train just now. There we have yet another Metro North train off to our left. Seems to be a busy day on the, on the New Haven branch for Metro North. We're just sliding into the station here at 25 miles an hour. We should be there in 15 seconds. I mean, we're entering the platform, but we're not stopping quite yet. Note that this train stops very nicely, so let's keep an eye on where we should start. 6 cars left, 5 cars left, a little bit of braking. 4 cars left, 3 cars left, 2 cars left, 1 car left. We're gonna have to overhang the locomotive a little bit. And let's come to a stop. There we go, doors are open. We are indeed 23 seconds late, 24 seconds late. Once again, we are letting our passengers off here at New Rochelle. I was here about 8 weeks ago, eight and a half weeks ago here at New Rochelle. I took a Metro North from Grand Central to right here. Yep, so I pretty much actually followed the route we just took. Nearly time for us to go, so I'm going to start releasing the brakes. We got our full timeliness bonus nicely enough, but let's get going. Gonna pull us up to full power as we leave New Rochelle so we can get to where we need to be. Next stop is Greenwich Track 4 in 11 and a half miles. Here we come. Now we're getting up some good speed. 15 miles an hour. 20 miles an hour. Very nice. We're going to have a 45 coming up, but that shouldn't be too much of an issue. The sound effects in this game are pretty great too, I have to say. There are many bugs, issues, and other things to complain about in Train Simulator, but the sound is not one of them. It is indeed not one of them. Now the question is whether we're going to see some Amtrak action here. I think we have an ACS64 coming up, and there we go. Yep, I'm still alive. Hello, ACS64. You appear to be waiting for us to get out of the way. This train has too many cars to be a Vermonter, so it must be a Northeast Regional. That must be the case indeed. Now, we are just reaching 50 as we entered a 70. Beautiful, beautiful. So we can keep accelerating up towards that 70, followed by an 80. One wonders if we can make it to Greenwich Track 4 on time. We seem to have a pretty tight schedule today. Our bell is still on. What? Weird. That was choo-choo. Yeah, so let me tell you more about my Amtrak adventures coming up. So I have a wedding and a conference to go to. I will not say which is which, but they require me to take an Acela to Washington, D.C. and a long-distance train to Milwaukee. So I'm looking very much forward to each of those. This will be my first time taking the Acela, weirdly enough. I've certainly driven it a million times, but I've never actually taken it in real life, which is shocking to me. I still have a few years to go before they replace the Acelas with the Avelia Liberty, but I figure, better sooner than later. This way I can get more Acela rides in. Ooh, our brakes kicked in there because apparently I didn't acknowledge that fast enough. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to both of those. The Acela ride should be a lot of fun. It's about 3 hours from New York's Penn Station to Washington, D.C. on the Acela, if I recall correctly. So a very fun ride. Yeah, I can tell you. It's September. I'll tell you the exact dates where, the general public is not listening. Yeah, and then I'm going to Milwaukee via Chicago, so that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to take the Capital Limited one way, and I'm going to take the Cardinal the other way. So that's going to be awesome. That's going to be awesome indeed. I'm going to get a roomette both ways. I'll be on the train for like 55 total hours. Lots of delicious Amtrak steaks, lots of delicious breakfast, lots of beautiful views out the window. I'm planning to line up some work for myself to do on the train. I have a long-suffering Android application that will make it easier to track Amtrak trains, like keep track of when your train is going to get in, if it's going to be late, stuff like that. So I'd like to take some of that time to work on that. That could be fun. And I'm just going to enjoy the ride. I'm going to enjoy the adventure of long-distance train travel. I'm looking very forward to that. I might actually bring my, for one of those, either for the part where I'll be taking the Northeast Regional to DC, or where I'll be taking the Acela to DC. I'm strongly considering trying to do my long scheduled plan of recording out the window while I go along the Northeast Corridor, while also playing Train Simulator. We have Greenwich in 7.8 miles, so we're doing all right. Ooh, I remember going through this town. This does not look like what this is supposed to look like. I missed what that station was, but I know that's not what it looks like. It's a fair approximation, but not correct. Take the time to relax. I'll try to relax, but it's going to be quite a few days, so I'm going to be there for the wedding for 2 days. Only 2 days? Yeah, like 2.5, 3 days. But I'll also be then traveling for a day and a half on each end, so that's like 5 days I'll be taking off from work. So I should do a little bit of work, but yeah, I mean, I would be enjoying the ride if I worked on my software projects, so that's the plan. I think that'll be a fun thing to do. Fun personal projects that I haven't actually had time for amidst all of the worky work that's been happening. So I will try to make, if I'm not having fun with it, I'll stop doing it. The goal is to have fun with it. We've coasted down beautifully for the 70-mile-an-hour zone on the twisty, turny Northeast Corridor. But yeah, I will definitely do my best to enjoy the travels. We're estimated to be 35 seconds late to Greenwich now, which I don't understand because we've been moving along nicely. Sorry that our face keeps going through the catenary poles. Thank you, Geek Boy. I appreciate that. We're not actually off the tracks. I'm just in between, like, going out the other side of our locomotive. This is Harrison, Connecticut. So that was Mamaroneck beforehand. We're going through quite a tight little curve here, and we have a 50 coming up, so I'm going to be aware of that. After Harrison comes Rye, Port Chester, and then Greenwich. And Greenwich will... Sorry, Harrison, New York. Excuse me. Duh. How embarrassing. Greenwich is our first stop in Connecticut. Looks like we have another Amtrak train coming up on our left. It does indeed. We're down for that 50 very nicely. More than nicely. Too much. Too much. Let's accelerate again. Oh no, that's a Metro North train. There we go. Hello, sir. Hello. Very nice. Very nice. That one had the engine at the front. The locomotive at the front. No cab car for that particular train. Must have gotten turned around somewhere at New Haven. Both work. Well, yeah. As you said, I'll make sure that I'm enjoying myself, and it's, you know, I don't miss out on enjoying my cross-country adventure because I'm busy trying to cram a lot of work in. Life happens. I mean, it's not cheap. It's a shocking amount of money. Well, not a shocking amount of money. It's a lot of money. It's much more than taking the plane to and from Chicago, certainly. But the point is the experience and the adventure, so I'm going to do my best to take advantage of it. If I was not doing it for the adventure, then I would just take a plane and cram myself into a sardine can with 100 other people. That's not the plan. Am I seeing only half the conversations here? Both work was at Geek Tim? Because I was sure that's what you meant. I certainly understood that you were saying either working or doing... Sorry, either doing relaxing work or relaxing entirely would be the right thing to do. We are on the same page there, sir. On the same page indeed. Rolling along, rolling along. We have 3.9 miles to Greenwich. Also, we're about to start speeding. Let's not do that. Coming up on a 70 zone, so we can speed up there for a bit, but then we have to get right down for the 45, which I think is going to immediately precede Greenwich. So I think we should have Greenwich appearing on our screen soon. Not that soon. Another, yeah, no, it'll be a little bit. Come on. As always, I'll rant about how twisty-turny the Northeast Corridor is, reducing the top speeds of the trains along the Northeast Corridor, and meaning that our high-speed trains like the Acela can't go that fast. Oh, I gotcha, Geek or Tim. Gotcha. I gotcha now. Well, I figure, you know, it's not exactly giving things away to call you Tim because your username is Tim. Tim Keller. It says Tim Keller right there. I try to remember. I don't do a very good job of it. I try to remember to call people by their internet names on the internet. Like when TI Freak 8X are streaming Minecraft, I try to remember to call him TI Freak 8X instead of his real first name, but I often slip up and call him by his real first name. Hopefully it's not a big secret what his real first name is, because if it is, I've outed him, and I apologize for that. It does look like I'm driving between the tracks. It's weird. It's because I've stuck my head out the window. Can I turn and show you? Yeah, I've stuck my head out the window, and I'm looking out the window. And we are going to start speeding. Let's get down for that 45 with some pretty aggressive braking. You can see why we have a 45 with that tight curve up ahead. There we go, into the 45. I'll put my head back in my train so it's less confusing. There we go. See, we're on a track. As long as you don't get any internet stalkers. That I think Geek Girl, your wife, would not appreciate if you had any stalkers on the internet. Either that or she might make life interesting for them. I could see either of those happening. Seems like it could be a fun opportunity as the other alternative. Yep, so no true high-speed rail for us until we get some right-of-way, you know, eminent domain and all that to straighten out the Northeast Corridor, and I don't think that's happening anytime soon. We're going to head back into a 50, followed by a 70, and then Greenwich should be appearing on our screen since we only have 2 miles left until Greenwich. There we go, let's get our speed right back up again. This particular route looks so oversaturated on my recording. On my top screen it looks beautiful, bright blue skies, but on the screen I'm using to record it looks like that sky's a bit washed out. We are accelerating so slowly and I don't have brakes on. How disappointing. So it sounded like you were trying to do a lot of things at once this evening, The Last Millennial. What are you up to? What fun things are you doing? What are you all doing, in fact? I mean, I like to watch train simulator streams while I'm working. It's just a relaxing thing. Like I recently watched a 2-part London King's Cross to York video from the Molman 978, and that was a relaxing thing to do while I was programming. Do you guys find it as easy to do other things like programming and working while train sim streams are happening? It's just kind of a relaxing thing. Or is it something that you have to more watch like a television show? Then again, even with television shows, if it's something that I'm rewatching, I generally will do it with other things going on. I'll multitask. If it's Game of Thrones, Doctor Who, several other shows like that, I will focus on it as like the main thing that I'm doing, especially Game of Thrones. There's so much intricacy you can't really look away or you'll miss important stuff. We need to start stopping. Hello, I'm Trek. But there are many shows that if I'm rewatching them, or even if I'm watching them for the first time, if it's something like Top Gear, I will multitask, and no one is any the worse for my multitasking, because it's more about the random entertainment while working rather than about stopping and watching something. Peruse the social media. Good choice. Good choice. And directing Ambien. Yeah, so you're like Ambien's manager. No, I didn't see the image that you linked in Hangouts yet, but if I stop to look now, I'm going to crash this train. And by crash, I mean fail to stop in time. Also, we really need to stop for Greenwich Track 4. We're going a little bit quickly. I didn't enter the station at my requisite 37 miles an hour that I'm always talking about. Wait, did I see the image? I'm clicking on it now because apparently I don't want to see the entire plot of Game of Thrones. This looks like something I'm going to laugh at after we stop. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. All right, we'll overhang the loco a little bit. That's fine. That is perfectly fine. We are here a little bit late. 30 seconds late. That's fine. Doors are open. I'm going to watch this cockatoo knock over a bunch of cups now. Yep, that's pretty much correct. Except imagine that the cockatoo is a dragon instead and knocking all the things over. Thank you for sharing that. That's perfect. That's perfect. But you don't actually, you don't currently watch, you're not up to date on Game of Thrones yourself, right? I have several friends who are just adamant watchers of Game of Thrones and like have to watch it, and we talk about it constantly. I have some friends who are like, no, it seems like a cult and a religion, and I don't actually want to, get involved in something that cultish. And then I have very few friends who are like, I don't really feel strongly one way or the other, or yeah, I kind of stopped watching recently. Poking TI Freak to upload the new TS2017. He didn't. Well, so TI Freak 8X, as you may or may not know, works ridiculous hours. He works super, super hard. He's one of the hardest working people I know, which means he has to get up at like 3 in the morning or 4, so somewhere between 2 and 4 a.m. to deliver, to do his work, the work that he does. I don't think he'll mind if I say that one of the things he does is he delivers newspapers, which means he needs to be up super early. So he tends to go to bed by like 8 or 9 o'clock on most evenings in order to get enough sleep before he has to be awake. So I'm pretty sure the TI Freak 8X is already asleep is the short version of that. So you might have to wait for tomorrow. You might have to wait indeed. I've been trying to gradually drag him back into doing calculator things lately, but he's gotten a little bit demotivated for various reasons. He was not really feeling the calculator stuff for a while. I think he's getting back into it a little bit. If you saw on Chemitech's front page, he did an awesome video on the FXCG50. But yeah, we'll get him. We'll get him back. Our next stop is Stanford Track 4 in 4.5 miles, by the way. On Sunday, well, you should poke him tomorrow, Saturday. He'll have time Saturday. He starts work very early, but he finishes work by like, I don't know, I want to say somewhere between noon and 3 p.m., depending, somewhere in there. So I'm sure he wouldn't mind a friendly poke, but wait until maybe the noonish, early afternoon. No need to nag the poor guy while he's trying to run around and do his work. Looks like you don't care enough. That's fair. It does look great. It looks like you don't care because you don't care. That's probably why. We are in graduated self-lap because I didn't cast that alerter, but luckily it doesn't force us into emergency braking. That would be obnoxious. So let's start accelerating again. We definitely want to get back up to speed. Speed! I haven't done that today. This is not a great train or a great route for speed. Yesterday I was trying to run just randomly while I was thinking about code. I ran a train of 8 HHP8s on the East Coast Main Line from Stevenage down to King's Cross. I may have forgotten to stop at the end of the track. That may be a thing that happened. I may have derailed due to consist tilt, which meant that my train was flying through the air. I may also not have. One of those is true. Either I did or I did not. I'll leave it to you to figure out which is the case. We are at Cos Cob now. Cos Cob indeed headed north. Another 3.5 miles to go. And we need to slow down. Get down for that 50. Beautiful. That'll do it. We are crossing a bridge now. A beautiful bridge, actually. I quite like this bridge in real life. There we go. Ooh, in fact, I'm going to put us in free cam, pause, and see if I can get us a little better screenshot. Or I could go inside the bridge and inside the train. There we go. There we go. Perfect. I say perfect, and I keep adjusting it. There we go. Now there's where we go. And I'll pull back a little and take another one. Nice. And continue. Alternate facts. What are we having alternate facts about? Speaking of politics and alternate facts, Steve Bannon is now out of the White House. Depending on your political leaning, you might be happy about that or not. I don't know. I feel like there are very few people these days who actually thought he was a good idea for anyone, even if you happen to support the current administration. But I feel like getting into politics is probably not the best idea. Probably not the best idea indeed. Somebody posted on one of my recent videos, how do you make your calculator look like a computer with Tetris and stuff? I think they're talking about DoorCS. The answer would be the shell that I made, DoorCS. ignorant to politics. Although I don't approve of, ignoring the political process and not getting involved and not voting, because then we end up with the situation that we're in now. I also cannot blame you one bit for trying to ignore the politics. We should one day, actually. What is it that we should one day? Talk politics? Yeah, I'm okay with that. I think that would be nice. I think we're both smart enough people that we could have a fair intellectual discussion. I support that idea. Also, we have 1.88 miles till Stamford, FYI. I'm gonna hit the alerter and also pause to see where we are. Where are we? Old Greenwich. I could have known that. Back into our train. Good idea, Geek Boy. I suspect that discussing it on the channel is not the greatest idea. I briefly brought up politics on our Minecraft private channel, and it's gone less than well. I think there's one dissenter among the 4 Minecraft administrators that has some slightly different political opinions than the rest of us, and that can cause friction, so I try to avoid political discussion there. I don't know. I think I'd probably, first of all, be curious to hear your reasons why, if that's what you said. And then I'd probably try to talk you out of it. Talking politics over text is definitely a bad plan. That's a great way to miss nuance and have misunderstandings. Definitely not the best plan. We are getting down for that 50-mile-an-hour zone, then we'll have a 45, and then we'll be at Stamford. So we are doing well today. We are moving right along. In fact, I don't remember. Stamford might have actually been our last stop. I do not actually recall. I'm just having fun. He has not killed us yet. That's a low bar, dude. A high bar, I should say. Low bar? Well, if it's limbo, that's a high bar. Like, not killing us is... That's. I mean, you're not wrong about that. You are not wrong about that. That is all I can say. That is all I can say, indeed. Let's start stopping because we're where we need to be. Arriving at Stamford, which is, we might be going to Bridgeport. I don't recall. We shall see. We shall see. Might even be going all the way to New Haven, although I seriously doubt that because it's like an hour and a half to 2 hours, an hour and 3/4 from New York to New Haven. Alright, we're all on the platform. Stop when you are ready. Yes, I have indeed heard that song. Weird Al is literally the best. Literally the best is Weird Al. That's all I have to say. Let's talk more about Weird Al and less about U.S. presidents. Task log. So we are going to... Oh, South Norwalk, of course. I only said that like 5 times at the beginning of this route. My mistake. Let's get our brakes off. Even though, I mean, that's slightly bad form. Alright, I'll put this to 12%. We want a little bit of brakes on. Alright. Time limit penalty, but we still got our full points. Let's go. I'm going to drop us out so we can watch our train depart. Put us up to a realistic camera height. What a KermMartian's height would be. I think it's about here. Get some screenshot action in, of course. Every day is better with screenshot action. And off we go. Do I have my headphones on backwards? Because I definitely hear that diesel in my left ear rather than my right ear, which is what I'd expect. I certainly have heard a bad lip rating. You should definitely listen to more Weird Al, because Weird Al is so good. Oh, what was that about? Is that a train? Or just cars parked? No, that was, it's an AEM7, or a fake AEM7 anyway. This is a little bit out of date, because there definitely would not be an AEM7 there anymore. AEM7s were retired in favor of the ACS-64 locomotive. Look at all those trains. Damn. Still AEM7. So this route came out before they added the ACS-64 to Train Simulator. I think that is the case, which is why the trains that are just sitting by the side of the tracks appear to be AEM7s. Those are just static trains, I think. I could be wrong about that. If I am indeed incorrect about that, please do let me know in the comments, either whether you're on the chat or if you watch this on YouTube and there are comments. And we're speeding. Come on. Alright. Now we're not speeding anymore. We're doing pretty well. We lost 16 points there. Here is another train off to the side. Just kind of hanging out. Hanging out indeed. All the weird. Such weird. Weird is best. I like to hang out with people who are weird because if you're not weird, you're just boring. Everybody should be a little bit weird, is my opinion. I will forgive you if you're not weird, but if you're not weird and you also say things like, I'm bored, then I'll definitely judge you. Because if you're bored, you're boring. One of our bots on Chematech says that. I think that's a fair assessment. There's so much cool stuff in the world. How can you ever be bored, you know? There's always more stuff to do. I just have way too much. I have 300% more stuff to do than I have actual hours for in the day. So I can't imagine anybody not having anything to do. It's just unbelievable. Like I could play trains all day and also make train routes and also make trains and work on my work and read books and, you know, write things and draw and write programs and create calculator programs and make hardware. I mean, there's just so much to do in the world. Okay, lack of will to enjoy it. Yeah, but that's not the same as being bored. That's being demotivated. That's totally different. Demotivation is not what I'm talking about here. Demotivation is a serious problem. Another thing that I get caught up in myself is lack of focus, where there are too many things that I have to do at once, so I end up just kind of shuffling between all of them without actually making any forward progress on them. Geopipe, no capital P, by the way. I've noticed we've gotten called mostly Geopipe with a capital G and no other capital letters, so people mostly get it. Various investor-y types have either written Geopipe with a capital P like you just wrote it, or Geopipes with an S on the end and a capital P, which is interesting indeed. Oh, train stuff. Oh, autocorrect? Damn it, autocorrect. That's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that. Maybe that's why it's happening then. Maybe you've just answered a mystery of the universe. Excuse me, a mystery of the universe for me, of why people have been doing that. Some trackside action, very nice. As our train roars past at 60 miles an hour. Only in America would that be a fast train. Jeez. And we've got our brakes put on because we were looking out the... also, we need to stop at South Norwalk in 5 miles, but we're good for now. YouTube freezes as soon as I start to talk. Well, that doesn't seem like it should be correlated at all because my train makes noise too. That sounds like a really unfortunate coincidence. What was I going to talk about? I know what I was going to talk about. So this week I played with reskinning a train. I haven't gotten it to show up in Train Simulator yet, but for the very first time I was trying to reskin a train. I took the Class 801 locomotive from the East Coast Main Line, the Hitachi 801, and I was trying to change it from that all-white skin to something more like a CPRR1 color scheme livery that I was thinking about. So I've been thinking about a livery for CPRR1 that has maroon, dark maroon, gold, and black in it, where it's black on the top, maroon on the bottom, and then very thin gold stripes separating the two, maybe with a bit of a sweep at the front. I'm nowhere near good enough with skinning yet to know how to do that, but it definitely seems like it could be a really cool option. I saw a steam train that had a similar color scheme, steam train with a much more a gray or blue or maroon, like a burgundy almost. And then I also saw, oddly enough, a skin for a hero in Heroes of the Storm that had more of a redder maroon with gold, and it was awesome. It was awesome indeed. Yeah, you know, Chematech theme, I'm never going to not like maroon and gold with gray or black or white with it. It's just great colors. They're just wonderful colors. 2 out of 4 of the learning institutions that I've gone to, elementary school, high school, college, and graduate school, have had maroon and gold as their colors. and one of the remaining had maroon and gray as their colors, I believe. So I can't get away from the maroon, nor would I want to. Oof, I just finished my beverage. It was a good beverage. Thank you for the beverage, Geek Boy, Tim Keller. You were responsible for the beverage I've been enjoying during this stream so far, so thank you. It is a good beverage. Really the best. I'm good at avoiding having too much of it by just limiting myself to one serving size, but I could see where that would be a very difficult thing to do. Gryffindor, yeah. I don't know what I would be. I've taken those house quizzes, sorting hat quizzes, and I always seem to end up as like a pretty even mix of all 4 houses. What do I have? I have Woodford. I have Woodford indeed. Thanks to you. I don't know why we're slowing down. We need to be speeding up here. We're estimated to be 40 seconds late to South Norwalk. It does indeed. That's the danger. That is the danger. Here we are at Roatan, watching our train. This lady here seems utterly unfazed by the train speeding past. She's got other things to worry about. Oh, what should you have? I have double learner. Excuse me. Yes, I have double learner. Woodford or Buffalo Trace. I don't know. What do you feel like? I feel like those are two different. Those scratch 2 different itches. So I think whichever is the itch that you're feeling right now. Those both sound like great options. Yep. Nope. Double learner is exactly what I was thinking of. I don't know why I called it Woodford, because I'm hopefully focusing on my train. I'm going to use that as my excuse for now. I'm also going to pop out of here and see if I can take us all the way up to our station. See if I can get there yet. I might not be able to. And see if I can just... I'm going to try driving our train from the station that we're going to. From South Norwalk. Here's South Norwalk. I was able to make it. Oh, right. I've certainly gone past South Norwalk plenty of times on the northeast corridor. I'm going to put us right here. This is where we need to stop our train on this route. And I will drive it from here. So we're almost down for the 60. Need a little bit more braking. There we go. I'm going to keep my eye especially on that alerter. This little thing right here. And we should get way down for the stopping at the station dealio. 50 miles an hour. 40 miles an hour. We're good. We're good. It looks like our lights are just getting brighter. That's what's happening. Gonna release the brakes a little bit, put a little bit more brakes on, just kind of twiddle with them a bit. We have 3 cars on, 4 cars on. That's half our train. See what this looks like from here. I never get to see what it looks like from here. Only 2 cars left, so a little bit more braking. 1 car left. This is a little bit too sedate. A bridge shot would be cool. I'll do that in my next scenario. And let's get stopped, because we're on the platform. There we go. There we go, ladies and gents. We are here at South Norwalk. We have made it 40 seconds late, but hopefully all will be well. Hopefully it will indeed. I clicked on the wrong thing. Hopefully that... Oh dear. So... Oh no, I clicked out of Train Simulator and I have a message on my screen. I don't know if you guys are still hearing me. Yeah, I think you are. That says error, failed to create vertex buffer, D3D error, invalid call. So I think I just did not get a score for that. It would have been 928. But it looks like Train Simulator crashed on us. So that sucks. That sucks indeed. This is what happens when you accidentally click out. Well, that's just dumb. That grinds my gears. So this is gonna be black for a second. Yeah, I know you guys can't see it. I'm gonna start Train Simulator right back up again and hope it reappears. Well, that sucks. That did go pretty well for us, though. I'm happy with that. We had a good run along the New Haven branch of Metro North. Let's just imagine that there was a screen there that said I got 928 points. I'll have to actually go back and play that scenario again at some point to actually get my points if I want to. But things went well for us. Things went well indeed. It looks like you guys can see Train Simulator. Please let me know if you can. Maybe it even registered that. That would be cool. I suspect it did not. I suspect strongly that it did not. That was a career scenario. Denver Express, is that what we were driving? Yes. Unfortunately, we did not actually get our score there. But oh well. We'll just imagine a little gold star here. Good, I'm glad you guys can see stuff again. Alright, so there we go. That was about an hour and a quarter of train simulatoring. Always a fun time. Maybe more like an hour. I guess it took me a while to get started with that. So, what do you guys vote? Should we do another little scenario for the night? Maybe something pretty short? Or should I call it a night? What is your vote? It's early enough that I certainly have the time to do one more. But it's all up to you guys. If you guys have things you need to get to, then I'll let you go for now. But if you feel like sticking around, then I'm more than happy to do a little bit of experimentation. A little bit of fun with our trains. Steam train. Oh man, you guys suck. I'm using that word too much tonight. Steam train. So, yeah, but I'm not good at steam trains yet. I guess I'm not going to get good at steam trains until I start playing steam trains more. But it's a paradox. It's a catch-22 because I can't get good at trains until I play with trains, and I'm not playing with trains because I'm not great at trains. You can see that I've done a train scenario before and I got a check. That means I did poorly. I hauled a small rake of empty coaches from Kingswear up to Goodrington Sands. I suppose I could rearrange them. Oh, a guided task. All right. I could do this. This sounds like it could be interesting. It could cause laughs. It might go well. It might also very much not. I'm going to give this a try. We'll see how it goes in the Pannier tank steam locomotive, the 5700. All right. Let's see how this goes. This is going to be... I don't have high hopes for this, I have to say. I really do not. One can only hope that if we do not have success, we at least have laughs. That is the goal. That is the goal indeed. Just gotta wait for Train Simulator to actually load. The Woodford, good stuff. Yeah, that makes sense. Enjoy it, sir. Enjoy. All right. Oh, I saw that there was a new video about Train Sim World Great Western Main Line from the development log. I'll have to check that out. So I went to pre-order the Great Western Main Line version of Train Sim World, and I found out that it's actually DLC for Train Sim World CSX Heavy Haul, which is super annoying, especially since I believe I technically already own CSX Heavy Haul because I was in the beta program. So I have the binaries on my computer, but it doesn't appear that Steam thinks I actually own it anymore. So that's super dumb. I'm going to have to look that up a little bit more. Anyway, good morning, driver. It is 11:05 a.m. The task in hand this morning is to shunt various coaches to make a new formation in Siding 3. As soon as you're ready, you may begin by driving to the shunting point at the far end of the sidings. The points are set for you on this occasion, but you will have to change them later on as instructed. If you're not sure how to do this, I do know how to change the points. One final point, if you're new to driving steam locomotives, please press B to select Legacy Mode. It will make things a little easier for you. I am going to press B to select Legacy Mode because I'm not that familiar with steam trains. Alright, we have a little tiny window here. I'm going to stick my head out the side because that's going to make things slightly easier for us. I'm also going to raise the HUD more so we can keep an eye on our pressure. I'm going to put our brakes into running, I think. I'm going to try. That doesn't appear to be a thing that's happening. Alright, so apparently I don't have running brakes. Fair enough. I'm going to put our reverser forward a little bit and then our throttle forward a little bit and see how we can get along. And I'm going to watch our pressure as we go. It's going up, so that's a good sign. We have a speed limit of 15. Let's not exceed that. Cute little steam locomotive. I like it. Haha, you keep trying to skip the loading screen. Very nice. Unfortunately, that's not a thing you can actually do in Train Simulator. The loading screen is... Oh, I see. Like, click ahead. Never mind. I get it. I gotcha. Very nice. We're just under the 15 there, so all is well. All is well indeed. Need to put a little bit of braking on because we're speeding. Why are we accelerating? Why are we accelerating? The brakes are on. Why are we accelerating? I am very confused. We just lost 70 points. So that's a thing. That's a thing indeed. Oh, we started with 1,000 points. So we can only... Things can only get worse for us from here. I'm not sure why we lost 70 points there. That was extreme. And we continue to accelerate. I guess we're going down a hill. We seem to have differing opinions on the effectiveness of the brakes. Steam! No, you're not too late. You're not too late at all. We just started a new scenario, though. We started a new scenario indeed. Alright, now what? Some new instructions would be super cool, Train Simulator. I think I'm supposed to go backwards now. I think I'm supposed to change the points and head backwards. Let's see what our list... There we go. A good start. Now change the point. A good start. Yeah, I lost 70 points. Now change the points so you can reverse and couple up to the coaches in siding 5. So we're going to pull up the map here. Center player. There is us. We need to go to siding 5. So we are... let's see if I can get this right. Now the points are lined up for siding 5. All right. Siding 5. So we're going to head back to a couple of coaches to the back of Goodrington Shunter at Goodrington Carriage siding 5. Yeah, a game crashed right as we reached the end of a scenario, which was super, super annoying. Back we go. Let's see if we can start speeding again. I had a 75-minute scenario that I was playing, so you're joining us just about an hour in. This time I did actually post on Twitter about my stream, so please do feel free to follow me on Twitter, KermMartian, KermMartian. That's like a Kerm who is from Mars. And I'll do my best if you guys, say that you actually take a look at Twitter to see when it's time to stream. I will definitely keep you guys posted there when I'm about to start a new stream. We're heading towards these carriages at a nice sedate 7 miles an hour. Well, I say that and then I accelerate. Our pressure is okay for now. I'm going to put us into a little bit of braking though. Too much braking. I think I'll put us into the coupler camera. Wrong one. Wrong one. Wrong one. Okay, apparently I'm not going to put us into the coupler camera because the game is not friendly. We'll just watch from right here. Ooh, a little bit of braking. A little bit of braking. That's a little bit fast. That was a little bit rough. Yeah, drive quality. Minus 76 for banging into the coaches. Very good. Very good indeed. Wait, did we actually couple? What? Did we not actually couple after all that? Well then. This is interesting. We're not actually coupled. Okay. Let's look at those instructions again. Couple the coaches to the back of the Goodrington Shunter at Goodrington Carriage siding 5. Goodrington Water Tower? Goodrington Carriage Siding 5. So apparently what I'm missing here is how to make them couple. This is very interesting. Bump. Thunk indeed. Thunk indeed. Please stand by while I look up how to actually couple, because in every train that I've ever played, you just, bump them together at a reasonable speed and your couplers engage. Sometimes the pin doesn't drop with modern knuckle couplers, but that is not what we have here. Pannier Tank 5700 coupling. How do we couple it? A beginner's guide. Train simulator. If any of you guys duct tape together, yeah, duct tape would definitely be the correct choice here. I lost 76 points for crashing them into each other. It was just a little bit of a bump. That was nothing at all. That was fine. I can't think why you would mind me bumping it. For example, the good runs again. Coupling, couple. To switch between brake modes, that's not what I'm interested in. That's not what I'm interested in indeed. Alright, how do we actually do this? Let's take a look at our couplers here. So we have this little couplery thing here. Damn it, I clicked on the wrong thing again. Hopefully the game doesn't crash on us. Good. We have this little thing here. None of these things are click-onable. Oh! Yes, there is a little click-onable thing. It's a little coupler symbol. Alright. Let's back up slightly. Aha! Look! Look, look, look! We coupled! Huzzah! That was super non-obvious. Look at that. Now we can go forward again. Now we can indeed. Also, now we have much more behind us to pull. Also, our pressure's way down. I hope that fixes itself. We're using auto fireman here, so we don't have to worry about our coal and water. It's taking care of that for us. Now we're taking this to the shunting point where we will stop. And also staying under the speed limit. Now we have 4 coaches. Huzzah! Huzzah! Success. This is Pannier Tank 5700, number 7749. There we are, look, that's me. That is me indeed. Oh, we're about to speed. We're about to speed. I have my brakes on. Why are we not stopping? There we go. We're also nearing the place where we need to stop anyway. These brakes are remarkably ineffective. Remarkably so. Also, I hear another train somewhere. Maybe that's our train. Weird. Now we're going to have to back up again, I'm sure. I'm sure that is the case. Sorry about that. That is our train. Nope, there's another train there. There's the other train. Good, now change the point so you can reverse these coaches onto siding 3 to drop them off. Very good. Very good indeed. Let's take a look at our map once again. Now, center player, that's where we are. We need to get these coaches to siding 3. Siding 3 is this one right here. So I'll switch these points there, and that should do the trick. Alright, now let's head backwards. With only a little bit of reverser, we want to keep our steam pressure up and take our brakes off. Oh, looks like this other train might be coming our way now. I might need a little bit more power than that. No, we're good. You can't see my mouse? Yeah, that's okay. That's intended. It means it's a little bit hard to point at stuff, obviously. Oh, look at that. That's good stuff. That would have been a good screenshot. Rats, I'm sorry I missed out on that. That would have been a great screenshot. I need some Steam Sound Supreme up in here so you guys can enjoy beautiful Steam sounds. Let's get our train stopped now, I think. Start reducing the brakes. Reducing the brake pressure, you know, putting on the brakes. Very nice. Hold that. Yeah, I forgot we were in apply lap brakes. That's what was going wrong there. Alrighty. Now we need to disconnect these coaches. I might take a quick little screenshot here because Conrail guy so kindly reminded me that I haven't been keeping on top of my screenshot duties. There we go. There we go indeed. All right. Very good. Now we're going to have to uncouple these coaches, I'd imagine. Yep, uncouple these coaches. Now there's a funny little symbol here that I think means uncouple. I have pressed it. We are uncoupled. Good work. Now it's time to head back to the shunting point. So this is going to be a very backwards and forward sort of scenario, I think, where we try to put ourselves a little train together. Now we're going to move much faster this time. Low A321. Oh, I hope that you mean in real life. I would be somewhat confused if there was an A321 flying around in this scenario. It does indeed automatically remove the HUD and chat, which is quite handy. It drops it for a second while you take the screenshot and then puts it back right afterwards. I used to take screenshots with the built-in game thing, which doesn't, but Steam's like screenshot hook will in fact remove that stuff for us, which is good. There we go. Now we're stopping nicely. Now we're getting the hang of things, except we're stopping too early. Also, we're inside something. We're inside a building, I think. Hold some brake, hold some more brake, hold even more brake. Beautiful. Now I suspect we're going to get to go backwards again. But the question is, where will we be going backwards to? I've got to stop doing that. Where will they send us today? Where indeed? Just got to wait to find out. I'm very excited. Shook the house. Wow, that's super slow. Now change the point so you can couple up to the coaches on siding 2. So I guess we're constructing a new train on siding 3. Alright, so let's get ourselves over to siding 2. Siding 2 is the one in the middle with lots of coaches. That looks like siding 2. This is going to be many carriages to carry, to pull. Release our brakes, get that pressure up, and get going again. Here we go towards those cars at quite a rapid clip. I think I'm going to have to manage my brakes a little bit because we don't want to slam into these like we did last time. See if we can do this with a little bit more finesse, shall we? Now, proper procedure is to stop just before the cars and then couple, so I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to do this properly with professionalism. All right, there we go. We've stopped, release the brakes. I hear another train going past. Now with knuckle couplers, we wouldn't be going fast enough because the pin wouldn't drop, but we'll do all right here. All right, let's see if we can find the pin, the thing that we need to click on to make these engage. It's a very finicky little thing. There we go. We're hooked up. Nicely done. You only need the first 4 coaches from this rake, so please uncouple the rear 6 coaches before proceeding. So I will click on the little... Are we sliding? What's going on here? I think I need to put some brakes on, because we're sliding. Oh, no, I had some throttle on. Hello. Hello. Brakes. Some brakes. Very good. Our train was running away with us. Let's click on the... That is a mechanical keyboard. I have a code with MX Clears, and I love it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 coaches. Disconnect there. That leaves us with 4 coaches. Excellent. With that operation successfully completed, it's time to head for the shunting point once again. No surprises there. We're going to head forward and get the brakes off and go forward. Forward we go with our 4 coaches. There is no bell. When I press the bell key, it switches between legacy and realistic driving mode. I'm using legacy mode because I'm not that familiar with trains, with steam trains. I'm familiar with trains. It is steam trains with which I lack familiarity. Oh, there's the other train. Very nice. Lots of good AI action. The Apple iBell, yes. My co-founder's wife was looking at getting an iPad Pro, and I was trying to talk about why it would just make more sense to get a very good tablet PC laptop. We're going to overshoot this siding, aren't we? The shunting point. Well, that's a thing that just happened. Excellent. So I didn't realize that there was a danger signal right there, right after. I thought we had a little bit more leeway than that. All right, this is what happens when we do some talking. So it's sort of 0 for 2 tonight in that the game crashed once and then the train crashed once. That was exciting. That was exciting indeed. High hoods. I know you like high hoods with your GE locomotives. All right, well, excuse me. Thought I had to sneeze. Turns out I didn't. Yeah, that was abrupt. Hello, A-Helper 2. I didn't realize you were with us this evening. So that almost went well, except that there was a danger signal right at the end of the point where I had to stop, and it gave me no leeway whatsoever. So we did lose a lot of points there, so I'd like to do that again at some point. I'd like to try it in realistic driving mode so I can get everything right, but, you know, we had some fun there. We had some fun. I think it's late enough now that I unfortunately will have to call it a night for now. I have been streaming for an hour and a half now, and I don't want to bore people on YouTube with an endless stream, but we had fun tonight. We had fun. Please don't end. I'm sorry. I must. Real life bids me do real life things. I still have some code I need to finish writing for the night. I want to get to bed at a recent hour, and you know, life goes on. There will be more stream. Don't worry. There will be more stream in the future. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. As I said at the beginning, that I think you guys missed. This was episode 20, celebrating both 20 Train Simulator 2017 episodes on my channel, as well as 1,500 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you all, both the people in the live stream for joining me, and the people on YouTube who are watching this after the fact. If you missed the stream, then please do, and you wanted to catch it, please do feel free to follow me on Twitter at KermMartian, and or subscribe to me on YouTube, and you will get notifications when I'm going to start a new stream. You might have also seen that I posted a calculator-related video, a review of the FXCG50, so stay tuned for more calculator videos coming soon. Great to have you all with me. Enjoy your evenings. As always, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, as YouTubers love to say. But really, I do love the feedback. I love the feedback. It's extremely helpful. Things you want to see me do, things that you want me to do differently. I may or may not listen to you, but it's, I like hearing. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Good night.